What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the change of our culture in America and meeting guys and girls. It's quite interesting. I think definitely in America, regardless of what part of America, in the United States, things have definitely changed to the point where meeting and attracting people of the opposite gender or the same gender if you're homosexual. Shout out to my homosexual viewers out there. Um, it's been different because it's very much more geared towards nightlife and nighttime activities. It just seems like how it is. Whether you're in high school, when you've started to hit puberty and you're getting out and about, universities, college, um, and even after college as an adult, I definitely think that the general ways of attracting and meeting people have definitely changed from what some term the olden days, where dating was actually dating, and it means like dressing well, females dressed in a dress and so forth, and they did the old-fashioned thing where they actually dated, which meant they actually went to dates with multiple different people to test them out and see how things were going. Or even before that, where it was just very fancy, sort of formal stuff. Nowadays, it's like the only go-to place to meet people is nightlife. It's like the only formal setting that's, if you ask average people, average students, average people of that age, that's the go-to place where it's not creepy. For me, it's unique because I don't find approaching people like girls in the daytime that's bizarre or strange. It's something I had to sort of cultivate from my scarcity, and it's just like one of those things where it's like it's useful and it's helpful. Nowadays, though, I think definitely it's saturated. I think pop culture has changed in that way, especially with all those videos on YouTube with guys picking up girls or pulling pranks on girls, or see how many numbers I can get in the daytime while handicapping myself or whatever. There's a lot of pranks and pickup videos on YouTube, funny or not, but it's sort of saturated that sort of audience, and now a lot of people do find it more common. But ultimately, though, I do think it's somewhat strange and not necessarily the best thing that all these places where it's the socially accepted way to meet people are typically parties, nightlife like bars or nightclubs, or just somewhere similar to those events. And you might be like, well, that's not true. You can meet people at organizations, you can meet them at daytime tea gatherings, or at your job, or online dating. But trust me, and I've surveyed and asked quite a few dozens, and we're talking a dozen is like 12, so dozens is like a few of those 12 people in that age group, that age range. And typically what I've found from them, some of them just not famous, not successful, not dating coaches, not anyone who's actually known or anything or makes a living off of this, but just people who are naturally good with women and have success with women. I've asked them like stuff like, well, what do you think about approaching in the daytime rather than constantly going to parties? And for them, it's obviously outside their comfort zone, but it's just in their standard, and it's not just them, but like most people, it's just like naturally, hey, well, if you want to meet someone, the only ways are these venues. How else are you going to meet someone? And a lot of people, they're like, you don't go out, and it's like it's somewhat bizarre. It's like it's not just like the partying crowd who ask me this. It's like other people who don't typically go out. When they ask me, you don't, or they find out that you don't go out. It's like, what do you do? It's like, or they're just very curious about me. They're like, hey, do you ever go out? What do you do? And I'm like, no, I don't. I read a lot of books. I do a lot of academic things, and I'm sort of working on that sort of meeting people stuff. But generally, no, and it's quite interesting. Um, Ultimately, though, even for these people, going out like um, it doesn't necessarily mean anything like bars or anything, but typically they do happen to go out. And from what I found, typically people meet through these venues. Having said all that, though, I'm not going to discount the crowd. There's obviously plenty of people who meet through work, which is not the best way, probably one of the worst ways, according to statistics. Highest chance of divorce and so forth. Or through organizations, clubs, meeting activities in their free time, park, the gym. But most of it, I feel like, is through social friends, social circle, mutual friends, or these nighttime venues. And I do, the world's a big place, and obviously a lot of people do things differently. So I do think for me and others who don't mind not following the crowd, it's not a big concern. Um, they can go to other venues, whether it's online dating and so forth, approaching girls in the day, establishing or growing your social network, etc. But I definitely do think it's a problem. For me, it's definitely been a hindrance. Kind of understanding, especially that this is the general scene and like typically only seen to literally approach and meet girls that you want to either hook up with or become your girlfriend. And obviously, there's other things, but generally, those are like more organic. Like if you were to go out of your way to set something up in the daytime, you'd be, from what others have said, looked at as bizarre. I think the best thing is like, the best philosophy, in my opinion, is just to be like, screw their opinions, okay? If you see a beautiful girl that you think is going to be the girl of your dreams, go up and approach. If other people think it's bizarre, who cares? Screw their opinions, go for it. And it's a hard thing to do, and there's going to be a lot of haters who are jealous or they just don't want you to do it. But if you can do that, you might meet the girl of your dreams. But I do think that a change is in order because it is a huge hindrance and somewhat like of a handicap. Because I do think a lot of people just think, meeting people outside of these venues is either, weird or bizarre. And it really takes a lot of work to go the extra step. And it oftentimes doesn't make sense. It's like, for me, bar and nightclub, that scene it's just so low quality in my opinion. It's just like, not disgusting, but it's just like kind of grimy. The girls are somewhat ditzy. They're physically attractive for sure, oftentimes, but somewhat ditzy and so forth. So it's kind of like, why does it make sense for the social norm to be that, hey, it's you can meet me at these venues and it's completely chill, but if you were to approach me in the daytime or meet somewhere else or go out of your way to meet someone or do something, it's like overboard. But I definitely do think there's been a change, and really it's getting better. But I do think there should be some work done, and who knows, a lot of people do things differently. So I guess my thinking is just like expand your, go out your comfort zone, try out different things, and see what works for you. So that's all I really want to say. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.